Listening. You are going to listen to a talk about John Steinbeck. Good afternoon. The subject of today's program is the American writer John Steinbeck, whose book The Grapes of Wrath was one of the most famous novels of the 20th century. To tell us more about John Steinbeck, we have in the studio an expert on literature, Dr. Helen Carter. Dr. Carter, welcome. Hello. I wonder if you could start by telling us something about John Steinbeck's childhood and early life. Certainly. John was born in California in 1902. His ancestors were from Europe, from Germany on his father's side and Ireland on his mother's. The name Steinbeck is German. What did his parents do? Were they a poor family? No, they weren't. His father was a civil servant and his mother was a teacher. It was his mother who taught John to read and encouraged him to become a writer. And what about his education? Did he go to university? Yes, he did. After high school, he went to Stanford University to study English, but he left in 1925 without a degree and went to live in New York to try to become a writer. Did he succeed? Unfortunately not. His first 3 novels were not a success. He had to continue working in badly paid jobs. It wasn't until 1939 that he became famous, when The Grapes of Wrath won an influential prize. Can you explain why this novel was so successful? Well, it's a great story, but it was also a novel in which Steinbeck wrote about the lives of poor working Americans during the Great Depression of the 1930s. I think Steinbeck was respected for telling the truth about his country and for forcing people to think about the problems of the country's poor. So, did Steinbeck then become a celebrity? No, not at all. He was a very private person who hated publicity. Did he write any other important novels? Well, during the Second World War, he worked as a war correspondent for a New York newspaper. But he continued to write. In 1942, he wrote The Moon is Down, about the war in Europe. And in 1947, he wrote The Pearl, a short novel about a Mexican diver. Then, in 1952, he wrote East of Eden, which Steinbeck himself thought his best novel. And did he continue to write? Yes, he did. And then in 1962, he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. He died in 1968. Thank you very much, Dr. Carter. That's all we have time for today. Thank you. Complete the following sentences. John Steinbeck's mothers and sisters were from Ireland. John's mother supported her son in his ambition to be a writer. Instead of finishing his degree, John went to New York to become a writer. In 1939, Steinbeck won an important prize for his novel The Grapes of Wrath. Steinbeck was not interested in becoming a famous person. The title of the 1947 novel about a diver was The Pearl. Thanks for listening. With للفهم, learn easily and simply.